Yeah. 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 Memories. Memories. Yeah. Memories. Memories. Got lots of love. Love. 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 Got lots of love. Love.
Let's have a bit of fun till our downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
What is up, my friends? Welcome to we're season 12 of CGL here in week number 2. Well, we're in week number 3, but this is a week 2 matchup. My name's Jeff alongside Shadow Fang here as we get into this GM tier matchup.
Yeah, Bull. I'm really looking forward to see what the GM tier can cook up for us tonight. I haven't really seen too much of this gameplay just yet under this patch, so I don't know what quite to expect, honestly. But I do know a few of these players from playing in the Diamond tier last season as they moved their way up.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes coming through with that patch. But speaking of those players, we might as well just take a look at our rosters. Your Cat Commanders taking on Monarchs tonight. Here, and once again, this is a second week matchup between these two teams. As we get your starters from the Cat Commanders here to kick things off. You're saying Atomic Man was a standout player for you there, Shadow?
Yes, Atomic Man was actually on the tier 3, the diamond tier team that won their tier Bingus. Really solid, strong player, and they were really good on basically every single tank they decided they wanted to play.
Well, that's always scary, isn't it? You never know. You never know what to expect. They have anything in their toolbox that they can bring out at you, which I mean, obviously will enable any other comp and any strength that they want to sub in there. Let's take a look at their opponents. Shadow Monarchs coming in 0-1 here in week number 2. And well, this team didn't have as much history on this team, perhaps not as experienced squad coming in here facing the Cat Commanders.
Yeah, they are coming out of a close 3-2 loss last week, and they're probably really itching to get back into it, see what they can do against the Cat Commanders this week.
Yeah, we see Ryan on the screen. Ryan listed as Wildcard's favorite player. We'll see if we get the brawl compositions. Maps will certainly win its way for it as we take a look where we're starting. Lijiang Tower here to kick things off. Definitely a good place to run some Reinhardt and some brawl along with it.
Yeah, if you want to see some Reinhardt, there are not many better maps in the game than Lijiang Tower. That being said, we're also going to have to witness some Symmetra May, I imagine, if we see that Reinhardt, so
Most likely. I mean, even with the Orisa, the Symmetra May still works really nicely. Obviously we're talking about Night Market at that point. The classic Symmetra May, but I mean, even on Control Center, the Sim May works so well. But I think it's the only map we're probably going to see the brawl on, or at least comfortably see the brawl on. Sure, you could try to force it on some of these others, but it's not going to work as well once we start getting through this map pool.
Yeah, we could always just revert back to the old classic Winston dive, I mean, we've seen Winston dive happen on Control Center too,
Sure, of course.
You could see any number of things anywhere. Like I said, Atomic Man, I saw them be really strong at the Wrecking Ball as well if they wanted to do something like that, several options for both teams here, honestly.
Well, and with such a pretty drastic that we've had come in, in the past week or so, it's gonna shake things up, and it also leaves a lot of room for some comfort picks as well. With there not being such a defined meta, that means teams aren't as rehearsed, aren't screaming on the exact same compositions all the time. It leaves room for kind of fall into some heroes that you maybe haven't seen in a while or haven't got to play in a while. We saw some Genji earlier in contenders today and yesterday as well. I mean, that's a hero I had seen a bit just because it was a comfort pick for that particular squad.
Well, and going back to another potential comfort pick you could have here, Control Center is always notorious for having that Junkrat come out, even in the highest tier of Overwatch League.
Absolutely.
I always remember seeing Bird Ring bring out that Junkrat. I was like, oh, this is going to be a good time.
As with that new patch, it's worth noting here, friends, that there will not be any Ilyari here, at least not until Thursday. Once Ilyari goes into comp, then she will be available to play here in CGL, but not until that point. So we won't see any of the newest support here today. Also, no Flashpoint. Flashpoint will not be in the mix until the mid-season tournament. Give some teams to kind of warm up and get a real comfortable feel for our newest game mode and the 2 new maps that come with it.
Yeah, Flashpoint is a lot. I don't know how much you've played of it so far, but those maps are so big. It took me so long to just locate points when I was playing that game.
Yeah, I advise finding the health packs and trying to work from there, friends, when trying to learn those maps. It's so complicated. I find that helped me a lot. Like, just they became anchors, and then I kind of built from there on learning where everything was. Even going through, like, I'd go through and just take a camera and do a fly through on a custom game by myself. Just trying to learn the map from a caster standpoint is still so big. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I do kind of like, though, if we're not going to see any Flashpoint, but I do like the fact that there are sort of like these push maps. You have all of these various different flank angles that you can just poke and peek from, and then just catch somebody off guard.
A lot of your movement and your rotations are very important in Flashpoint as well, much like Push. And it's been interesting seeing the evolution of Push and how those rotations have played such a huge factor. And we've seen the gameplay evolve and tighten up, and I think even improve across the board from what we've seen as Overwatch has grown and developed and evolved. The movement and the way teams rotate together it has just improved drastically. And I think Push was a big factor of that. I'm anxious to see how the newest mode will continue to push things further. But, something to look forward to as we approach the mid-season tournament. We won't see any Flashpoint here today. We're just about getting ready. We had a small tech issue, kind of gave us a little bit of hiccup getting into map 1, but we're almost ready to go, and we'll get this week 2 matchup started.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, so one other thing to think about here. What what would what would potentially be a comp we could see? I'm trying to think here. What could we potentially see on? I cannot think of the map name right now, but it's this one on our background right now with the big middle point. Well, no, I know it's Lijiang.
Oh, with
But what is
Garden, the one where you have the two bridges.
Garden? There we go. Yes, the bridge map. The
Oh,
bridge map.
it's that one can go a lot of directions. The sim strat works really well on that, just to teleport through the window, and you lock it down with the Ice Queen composition, the May and the sim utilizing the wall and the turrets. But there's also room for flyers on that map. I mean, there's room for mobility on that map where we could see something more dive oriented, and around that whole open area around the tea house and that center pillar. There, the kind of the central point on gardens. It's an interesting map, and again, there's all these vast changes that we have come through. A lot of heroes getting some pretty drastic moves. It's wide open, like the composition to the landscape is wide open right now, all the way up to the highest level.
Yeah. Yeah, even a hero like Echo is still pretty solid, and you can see that utilized in some sort of dive composition as well. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I think the biggest change was the change to Sombra. That's I think the most impactful change on the meta that we saw come through. You might look at it and think, it was a 15% increase to how fast she builds EMP. Not super impactful, doesn't affect her neutral game at all. But that EMP is so strong, and such a central part of how you plan engagement, that it was enough to knock her out of the meta, and that is one hero that has kind of fallen by the wayside. But we got 5 seconds. The doors open. Finally get this match underway. We're being shown a little bit of Ramatra alongside the anticipated Mei Sim.
yeah, this is definitely a little change to that Reinhardt comp, but it makes sense. You know, Ram can just kind of beat up Ryan, so you might just have to make this alteration.
Yeah, this is the timing a little bit different. Walls up for everybody. And Talkman draws first blood, quickly followed by Hushi melting somebody down with that Sim beam calculator. Follow to that. 5v3, first cap will go to Cat Commanders. Is a good wall. We'll get them an exit kill on the Sea Breezy.
Yeah, that was a really solid entry wall too, just sort of trapping the Shadow Monarchs back there and giving Atomic Man all of those punch cleaves through multiple targets. And here we go, looking like Shadow Monarchs are already going to swap it up, running some Tracer Soldier.
Interesting pick. A lot of flank angles available here between these two. A lot of mobility between these two DPS. See if they're able to utilize it. Cat Commanders are just going to back right on off. They're not going to stick around in the courtyard long enough to give themselves over to a vulnerable pick. Shadow Monarchs will move in slowly but surely. Calculator working around off the flank side. Getting checked by Hushi. Gets pushed back. Meanwhile, Tiger Man going to go ahead and drop that Nemesis form. Great wall. Wildcard has to put up those arms. Blocking for dear life. The heals come through as the wall is brought down. But it's E3, Ethan eventually able to find first blood here. This one with the Blizzard there to find at least 3 people caught in that one. Massive Blizzard in the courtyard here to seal the deal for the Cat Commanders.
Yeah, that's a really great fight for the Cat Commanders, only having to use that Blizzard and just getting like a full-on fight win just like that. The Shadow Monarchs do have their Baptiste window available, as well as basically Attack Visor, and they're pretty close to actually all of their ultimates. But Cat Commanders have their ultimates right now, which means they're going to be able to go first, which I think they will do here.
Yeah, Shadow Monarchs, I anticipate them to play this a little slow, perhaps work up towards that annihilation of Wildcard to get in, but no, they are blowing my anticipations out of the water. Wildcard just goes barreling onto the point, and matrices from both of our squads. It's the annihilation and the sound barrier from Cat Commanders. Big 1-2 punch, a later sound barrier from Vex here, and the Shadow Monarchs, I believe, are hanging on in numbers. The Attack Visor is fate. Ethan gets Calculator in the back of the dome with an icicle. Could just be the tilting of the scales here as Cat Commanders reclaim firm control, 90% on the board.
Yeah, just really great ult usage from the side of Cat Commander. Shadow Monarchs did manage to hold on to their annihilation from Wildcard, but if Hushi can make it back with this Symmetra barrier, that can almost nullify that ult entirely.
Oh, I mean, and it's such a broken attempt here to come recontest it. A great use of it. Mommy Raven's already down. You're not going to have the Immortality, not going to have the Baptiste at Wildcard are still nowhere to be seen. If they do make it back, there they are. Having to use that Nemesis form early, most of it to block. Finally, the Annihilation is popped, but Vex has fallen already. Great target focus from Cat Commanders as they look to isolate the squishies and let Wildcard flail in the middle, finding nothing with that ultimate. Cat Commanders have cleaned up everybody else. Flying Beast gets themselves caught on the outside, and Cat Commanders kind of lost their potency as they were not able to finish off kills as quickly as they needed to. And Shadow Monarchs able to regroup here, finally get some percentage on the board.
Yeah, really solid regroup from the side of Shadow Monarchs, honestly, just being able to retake that fight away from the Cat Commanders, but you're looking at E3 over here having that Blizzard available, and Shadow Monarchs don't really have anything to deal with it. If anybody gets caught out by this, that could honestly just be the map for Cat Commanders.
Cat Commanders were able to win a fight with just the Blizzard before, catching 4 in that first one. Is she? Looking through the window. Teleporter up, Blizzard in hand. Everybody drops in, no fakes. Wall off the Moira. Ethan gets pulse bombed immediately, but the favor is returned. Mortality field used. Blizzard, I think, was interrupted. I never saw the Blizzard come out. I believe Ethan died quick enough by a threat. Atomic Man down very low. Brent comes through with the sound barrier just in time to save the tank. And the Cat Commanders hang on here in our first round of Leashhawk Tower.
Oh, that was really, really sick beat from the side of the Cat Commanders. Oh my goodness. And they still have other ults available if they needed them. And I wanted to say the Blizzard did come out. We just weren't looking directly at it when it was happening.
They did. Yeah,
it was right in the middle of the point.
Yeah, my goldfish bread. Sometimes things go one in one side and right out the other, especially if it didn't have an impact. So, yeah, that one did not have enough of an impact to make an impression on that gray matter between my ears there, Shadowfang.
But Shadow Monarchs did bring that back. It ended up being 50%, but it very easily could have gone the other way that last fight if that sound barrier from Brea is not that good.
Yeah, that was so clutch. Atomic Man wasn't the only one low either. I believe Hushi was also hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like we're going to see a Junkrat coming out from Sea Breezy as well, which I'm personally excited about.
Well, and this isn't quite the map we anticipated on. You know, you had mentioned kind of wanting to see one, but it's control. Might see it if it was going to pop up. Here we go. Sea Breezy immediately onto the point. Calculator, was very low, gets topped off. Hushi looking to melt somebody down. Mortality field already used here from the Shadow Monarchs. Bunch cooldowns coming out. Oh, yeah, it was a good trap that's caught Hushi. Oh, and now Calculator's able to pile on the kills on top of that. Great snowball from Shadow Monarchs here. Picking up first control, starting things off on Gardens.
Yeah, honestly, just great trap placement from Sea Breezy. They are doing a great job of just piling on high damage on this Junkrat, and Hushi immediately going to the Pharah. Is that what I'm seeing? Huh? No, okay. There's a little swap coming in. Atomic Man swapping onto that Wrecking Ball I had mentioned before, so this is not surprising to me at all.
I mean, it surprises me a little bit. A good map traditionally for Wrecking Ball, but Wrecking Ball's been such a rough place in Overwatch 2. We'll see if they can make it work, particularly with Ethan on the far. It's going to be a little bit of a pool with the pile driver. See if they can land some rockets on the back of it. That attack didn't seem to draw anything in. Atomic Man did manage to escape the pull from the Ramatras. They didn't get held in place, which is fortunate. Ethan actually able to pick up one here as Cat Commanders have slowed things down along the outside enough to find a pair of kills, as a matter of fact. And now Ethan is just going to conk blast right into the middle of the pack. Calculator eventually will die. Wildcard's hanging on here, won't last long.
Yeah, Cat Commander's doing a really great job of just turning the point into a kill box. Atomic Man not really letting anyone get outside of that point. Really good kill from Sea Breezy, though.
We'll get immediately res, but, you know, if you're Shadow Monarchs, you're happy to get that all-important cooldown, that very important resource off the table early.
Yeah,
critical one might say.
Yeah, Shadow Monarchs need to react really well to this barrage that's about to come in.
Now, here's another character I wasn't expecting to see much of today. As Calculator comes out of the Salvo, barrage is out. Mama Raven's going to fall. Vex gets the Salvo, you're down, but it's not in time to save the Baptiste. Ethan's going to loop around to the window inside. Wildcard's got Annihilation going. Slaying Beast takes a left jab to the face, is down. Vex is in a lot of trouble as well. Wildcard coming in to try to help out there, Lucio. Oh, but Ethan stays just out of range of those pummeling strikes. Shadow Monarchs are able to pick it up. Calculator eventually finishing off Pharah.
Ooh, and getting the Mercy, too. That's a really nice stagger kill.
Much better.
Oh, 82% towards that EMP. We were talking about how the Sombra builds him up slow, but Calculator just swapped already some great percentage towards that ultimate.
Yeah, yeah, and but you got Hushi over here on the side of Cat Commanders with this overclock available, which could be pretty big in dealing with this Baptiste.
Yeah, see if Hushi can get in position. They need to get around this corner without taking too much pressure to get set up for this overclock. Getting that shield down early is a good start. Wildcard has used all of their cooldowns. Hushi has an opening. They find a way in. They leap in, drop the disruptor shot, holding on to the overclock, waiting for the right target, but they're in the perfect position to use it now. EMP and Tac Visor all on the other side, but what a beautiful shot to follow up that pile driver and kind of negate some damage off of the Ant Matrix. Over the top, 99% to Barrage. He didn't have it just quite yet. It lands 2 to Rex. The finish Breezy off. Now the Barrage will get interrupted by an EMP. It's back and forth between these two squads in overtime. Cat Commanders cannot stick around on the point. We're headed to Control Center.
That was a really nice kill, really nice EMP from Calculator to just completely deny any sort of value from E3 on that Barrage. Perfectly timed too, because then you just drop right into the Ramatra fists, and it makes it a lot easier to punch a Pharah when they're just right in front of you like that.
That is a golden opportunity. If you're a Ramatra and you see a Pharah just kind of drop into your lap, like that is just, you're not gifted something like that very often as a Ramatra. It's like getting a Rhine pin onto a Pharah. You know, you relish in those, Shadowfang. You relish in those.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking like the teams are going to mirror that Sim May comp again here on Control Center. It's only fitting that it goes to a third map because this has been a really entertaining game so far. Oh, no. See, Breezy going to go on this Junkrat again. Okay.
I was going to be surprised if not. I mean, if you're going to play it on guards, you're sure as hell going to play it on Control Center. Calculator making that swap over to the Sombra as well after getting everybody out of spawn. Cat Command will have a slight positional advantage, but Shadow Monarchs quickly closing that gap and taking this all-important room here in the light area. But a great wall has put Wildcard in a very difficult corner. Bray there with the final blow. Not the immortality field was not even enough for Mommy Raven. With no tank left, Shadow Monarchs now scrambling to see if they can equalize. Otherwise, they're going to have to give up this first control.
Yeah, E3 has just been like a real killer with these walls so far, just fight after fight.
Ooh, see Breezy was gonna make it back with that to that hacked mega, and then returns. Hushi is gonna run into a trap and die. Anything though, that killing the Baptiste is huge. That is gonna slow the roll here. Shadow Monarchs. Wildcard didn't get the messages, and here comes the rest of the team trying to hang on as Wildcard's just getting punched and battered by Atomic Man. And it'll be enough to put him back into the spot room.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all run into those Junkrat traps like that before. You forget how much damage it does, honestly. Like, it's
so
kind of
true.
absurd how much damage it does. Sea Breezy
I'm telling you,
have
if
his
I play
tire
Tracer,
coming
I have a
into
knack for finding those good Junkrat traps. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, Tire now online, as you were starting to say before I so rudely interrupted you. My apologies for that. Oh, man, gonna pop that Nemesis. See if they keep Shadow Monarchs contained there into that stairway area. But Seabreezy's gonna open things up here. Use this Tire right behind the window, and the Ant Matrix is just completely devalued. 2 kills fall from the explosion of Seabreezy, and it's gonna be some easy cleanup on the back of it. Shadow Monarch should be able to grab some percentage shortly.
Yeah, great tire from Sea Breezy. They're doing a fantastic job on this Junkrat of just sort of controlling a lot of space, really. Just spamming constantly down main. Cat Commanders are going to have their sound barrier early, though. Do they just aggressively beat into this and try and run over the Monarchs before they have all their ultimates? Ooh, nice kill from Sea Breezy. Really great play. And it's looking like right here we're just gonna see more spam straight down the line, and yeah, I mean it's just typical Junkrat plays, you know, nothing too crazy happening here. But the Cat Commanders are going to have roughly 4 ultimates available in for this next fight. Looks like they're gonna make a main rotation right about now, and I would expect to see E3 try and get a wall off here early before Calculator gets this EMP off. Oh, big EMP. Big EMP, the immortality field comes out though, and Wildcard going in with this really good annihilation. But E3 having the Blizzard available as well, just honestly, a lot of crazy plays happening right now. But it looks like the Shadow Monarchs are going to be the team that comes out on top from this ult exchange, which is going to be really huge walking into this next fight. The Cat Commanders are going to have their overclock available, as well as potentially a Baptiste window. We know how quick that builds up. But Sea Breezy going to have this tire again, as well as another mirroring Baptiste window. You want to see Sea Breezy try and build this up as fast as they can with this spam into the choke. And yeah, they're just spamming it out main. Nothing too crazy happening here. Here comes that junk tire. Big kill. That's the overclock out. If Shadow Monarchs can finish up these kills and finish off these staggers, that could be the end of this map. Ooh, can anybody from Cat Commanders touch? I don't think they can. Oh, someone does just barely get the touch, and here comes the overclock. Oh, big kills from Calculator. E3 does get the kill on Sea Breezy, but they're one shot, and that's going to be the Shadow Monarchs taking map 1. Really close and contested map, honestly. I'm just really impressed. Really great plays from both teams. The standout for me, though, had to be Sea Breezy on that Junkrat. It really kind of turned the map for the Shadow Monarchs once they were playing that Junkrat. Okay. Yeah, and yeah, so great map 1 right there, and looks like our next map is going to be Numbani, if I recall correctly, which will lead into probably more of those dive-centric comps as opposed to the Ramatra comps, if you will. And with that being the case, I would think Atomic Man would be more favored on potentially that Wrecking Ball pick that they liked so much on map 1. But perhaps the Shadow Monarchs, we saw Calculator run a lot of that Sombra and Tracer, which was also kind of a strong suit for them. And honestly, we'll just have to see which way that happens to go. Because the Cat Commanders did show some nice strengths in map 1. The Shadow Monarchs were just kind of able to make that pocket pick of that Junkrat really overpower the Symmetra May comp, which you didn't expect, but you do love to see it. Seeing those nice little, all right, and yeah. So we're just gonna have to take a quick break here while we're figuring out some technical difficulties here.
True. Then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
right, we are back. I mean, most importantly, I am back. Yeah, it's good to be back. Yeah. The Sombra missed and accidentally hacked my internet or something of the like. Insert EMP joke there. But we're headed on into map number 2. Will be Numbani here for hybrid here for this week 2 matchup. And I mean, looking back at Lijiang Tower, I mean, the Junkrat pick turned into a massive problem there for Cat Commander.
Yeah, especially with Sea Breezy. Sea Breezy was consistently killing people that had their ultimates that would have changed that particular fight with their tire. That was the craziest part of it to me personally. Just seeing, like I said, seeing the Sojourn go down when they had overclock for the side of Cat Commanders with a Junkrat tire, it's like, oh, fight changing right there. Nobody else has ultimate.
And that's great macro awareness. I mean, props to whoever's making those calls of exactly what target you need to go for with that tire. I mean, that's perfect. That's how you win games. I mean, we are the GM tier here. I mean, it's going to take that kind of awareness to get the job done and to continue to press through as we, move inches closer towards mid-season madness. I mean, remember, it's only 4 games before we hit up that mid-season madness, so each of these is very important.
Yeah, you got to establish like what the hierarchy is, and like we said before, Shadow Monarchs lost a very close game, so they're looking to really come back strong here in this week 2 matchup.
Well, and of course, I mean, even if you don't do well in the first half, you can still come back and perform well in the second half of the season. But it's always good to go in. I mean, if you can go in and establish that dominance early, go into mid-season madness on top and feeling good, it really sends a message for the rest of the season, put yourself in a great position. So. Looks like we're about ready to get into it. Numbani here, map number 2.
All right, so Numbani. It's looking like I was expecting exactly the comps that the Shadow Monarchs are running out on. Cat Commander's doing a little bit of a variation with Atomic Man running the Diva, which is surprising considering their favorite hero is the Winston. Maybe they just like it better for the defense,
Yeah, we're getting word that they were very, very close to playing Slaying on Diva last second. We had Atomic Man subbed back in playing the Diva here on the defense. We did get Sushi coming in the support role to pick up that Brig listed as their favorite hero. And so she's coming in to pick up that role. Aggressive positioning here from E3 start things off, trying to get some early ult charge here, Shadowfang.
Yeah, as a Sombra, all you're really going to do is just sit back there in the back. Just get those shots off. That's how Lip's able to build EMPs so fast. So it's always good to try and copy sort of what he does, I think, at least.
I mean, if you're going to copy somebody, copy the best.
Absolutely.
Early aggression here. Calculators made a move towards the inside. E3 did get the manual hack Autumn, and Calculator still choosing to stick around. Not going to pop that translocator yet. Good shots going down onto Atomic Man. They flee up to the high ground. E3 is able to win their duel in the backline, though. So defense up a player. Not going to stay that way. Atomic Man takes a lot of shots. Able to pummel through Wildcard's health bar. Sticks alive through all that. Props to Slaying Beast and Shuchi for that one.
Yeah, that was actually kind of insane. Atomic Man got hacked for like a continuous 30 seconds there. That would have been insane to be stuck on the Diva in that situation. But great plays from Frank, and like you said, the support line for being able to keep them up. Closest ult we got on the board here is Calculator, getting all of that spam out onto Atomic Man, getting them close to the CMP.
It is a big ult battery. That's for sure. Big target for Sombra. 82 now, and looking to that to initiate this fight. Mommy Raven did get hit by a bio nade on that lower hotel side. Exactly where we're looking right now from Frank's point of view. We saw him land that shot. And Shadow Monarchs looking for some room to work. See, Breezy eats a bio nade and a headshot as well. EMP over the point. Calculator gets that off. Nobody there to follow up. Did hit 3. Wildcard tried to go up top. See if they can find a support. But the nano onto Atomic Man is enough to fend off the assault. And Cat Commander stand tall in this defense.
That was a little ambitious of an EMP from Calculator. No real follow-up to be had there for it. And look at this stagger. This is a stagger that I've ever seen.
That's unfortunate. It's amazing because, I mean, that bought a lot of time, too. In an important moment.
Really
I mean, the 2-minute mark and buying 20 seconds off of that mark could be crucial here in these. 2 more opportunities for Shadow Monarchs to get this done.
Yeah, Shadow Monarchs don't have any other DPS ults. E3 has almost got this EMP, and I expect it to honestly come on top of the support line for the Shadow Monarchs pretty soon here.
Oh, if they could take out Suchi before this rally is unleashed, I mean, that's fight win with just the EMP alone. And Cat Commanders could save everything else for the final fight if they're able to get that crucial pick. E3 did back on out to the high ground goes Shadow Monarchs. It's going to be a self-destruct just from Atomic Man. I'm just guessing took a lot of damage. The bubble was there to block it. Atomic Man is able to avoid that anti and get back in mech. Did have a little bit of that extra time added with this new patch. Up top, see Breezy takes a bio nade. Nice defense here from Frank and company as the two supports coming up big once again. Suchi is able to get that rally off, and Cat Commanders hang on to their DPS ults instead.
Yeah, but that pick onto the Ana for the side of Shadow Monarchs is really huge because there you see Wildcard just kind of evaporating after that point. And Bob and EMP both did not have to be used for Cat Commanders. So those could be really big in this next fight.
Oh, and E3 has spotted Calculator. Oh, that would have been disastrous. Calculator was able to get out of there before that manual hack went through. Calculator has to get this EMP online. It's the only hope. 17 seconds here for Shadow Monarchs to get something done on Numbani.
Yeah, you want to see this rally come out early from Vex just so everyone can get the overhealth before the EMP comes out from EMP.
And there it is. Look at that bio from Slate Beast. EMP over the top. Vex and Wildcard both very low. Mommy Raven saves the day. What a bio nade to send E3 packing. And now see Breezy is able to use that dupe. Shadow Monarchs have a bit of a foothold on this point. Beautiful headshot from the duped Ash. Here's the extra big Omnic Butler online. Vex is even getting the mix. See Breezy takes down another one with the Viper. And Shadow Monarchs are not done with Numbani.
Oh man, what a really good copy from C Breezy. Again, C Breezy making these sick plays here. C Breezy and Calculator making some really sick plays. But you almost never see an actual ultimate come out from the Echo copy. It's such a hard ult to get value out of, so that's really impressive, I feel like.
Well, and knowing exactly what is needed at that time, and it was just a little extra punching power from the low ground. And I mean, and see, Calculator was able to get it done. I mean, it was beautiful. Or see Breezy, excuse me, was able to get it done.
Yeah, and Frank held that Bob for so long that C Breezy ended up being able to mirror the Bob, probably unintentionally mirroring the Bob, just so happening to copy that Ash. It looked like they just kind of looked up there in that top left corner and were like, all right, let's see who I can get.
Now Shadow Monarchs going back over to the Wrecking Ball. See Breezy has permanently swapped over to the Ash side. They had so much fun in that duplicate. Let's keep the good times going. Atomic Man heading in with an aggressive push, has the Nano at their back and has a very low C Breezy hack onto them as well to eventually finish off. Sleep on the wild card. There's just no peel from the take, and it's easy pickings here for the Winston.
Yeah, that was just a really, really sick Nano and nade coming in from the side of the Cat Commanders. And look, Atomic Man already basically has this Primal Rage ready to go. I am kind of curious who's going to get the Nano boost for the side of the Shadow Monarchs. At this point, just give it to C Breezy. Why not? You know,
Yeah, seriously. I mean, that's a heck of an opening pick. Not an easy target to just muscle down with an Ash. It's a lot of health and a shield. Still managed to get the headshot kill. That was beautiful. And look at all this room it's opened up just off of that one kill. Shadow Monarchs have taken control of the entirety of Streets phase. Wildcard going up top is able to pick up two. Atomic Man was trying to peel back for it, but the Wrecking Ball has just punched through the defense.
Yeah, you know, now that I think about it, a Nano Pile Driver is kind of strong, isn't it? Wrecking Ball just does a lot of just damage existing, so that is a really good Nano. And there go the mines.
Especially catching him in that small room. A little bit of a time for a recontest here, less than half a meter to go, and Atomic Man has fallen, so that's going to be the end of that hold. 2 minutes on the board. Shadow Monarchs, well, it was a full hold. Suddenly, they got their eyes on point C.
Well, as we all know, point 2 is just a formality on Numbani, so they were always going to get point 2, you know? That was always going to happen.
I mean, you say that. It's that kill from C Breezy. If C Breezy doesn't pick up Suchi with that shot, they don't get all that space to work with, and this turns into a draw out. This fight all happens on point C, where they're out of time. The EMP comes through, didn't get anything there for E3. Now a rally has to be popped. Desperation here from Suchi, as Cat Commanders are just trying to hold on for this Nano and see if they can try to retaliate. Shadow Monarchs are looking a little disheveled, though. Wildcard's able to gets picked off in that chaos. Even had a Bob in from Shadow Monarch.
Yeah, and Wildcard does just barely get killed there. Calculator gonna have that EMP available, as well as it looks like dueling nano boosts from both sides. Really, you want to see this nano boost come in really soon from Wildcard. And Calculator getting detected. They're still gonna EMP. Oh, that's so many hits, but I don't think they're gonna be able to finish any of these. Maybe the Brig. Oh, just barely not. And out comes the nano boost from the side of Cat Commanders. And I think that might turn the fight for him. Let's see, can Atomic Man do anything else with this nano boost? They're looking like they're low, but in they come. Can they get the Brigida? And down goes the Brig, but Sea Breezy trades out the Brig as well. Oh my goodness. Frank coming in with the kill on the wild card, and I think that will stop the Shadow Monarchs push for now. But with that being said, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just to say I'm back. I'm here. 8 seconds on the clock. Made it back just in time, Shadow Fang.
Yes, absolutely.
Can they even touch here?
Just barely.
Big pile driver, 2 kills on the back of it with the mines used. A lot of shields. As well as Wildcard managed to get all the value out of both the ultimate and the...
But E3 still does have this EMP available, which could be really, really big here. And, oh, they get E3. Hold on. This is capable. This is definitely capable now. You just got to get this last kill on this Brigida, and
Well,
there
give me
you
an
go.
overtime push
Great
to finish
cap.
it off. We'll see if my internet holds.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like he made it back. That was a huge kill onto E3 from the side of Shadow Monarchs. E3 was just not able to get their EMP off.
As long as I only missed the most important kill of the map. As long as that's all I missed, you know, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But that being said, getting a cap on Numbani at all, I think is really good because I feel like third point is just notoriously difficult to get that last meter on.
Absolutely. I mean, especially if you consider how desperate a situation point A was for the Shadow Monarchs. I mean, that was looking done and dusted. They weren't like slowly making progress. Cat Commanders had point locked. There was no room for them to work. And Shadow Monarchs, I mean, it was just slowly picking away at it, but they're able to open it up, and that's it completely snowballed. Sea Breezy with a huge duplicate, and then that huge swap onto the Ash as well. Huge difference maker.
And then Wildcard coming in there at the end to really clear off the point with that minefield and getting them that I want to say like initial overtime push, because they did have to break that first corner of point 3, and then they just got the kill onto E3 Sombra before they could EMP. They really finished it off.
And working through a Sombra, no less, as a Wrecking Ball, a traditionally pretty underwhelming character in Overwatch, to running into one of their hardest counters, and Wildcard gets it done. Now has to get it done on the defense here. Shadow Monarchs want to move up to match point. Move up to 1-1 in the standings here. Will be the goal after today here for the Monarchs on defense. In new body. Bit of a slow start here for Cat Commanders. Just trying to find some room on the outside, but they're not being given any. Beautiful dynamite from Sea Breezy. Frank trying to find the Mega. None to be found. No solace, no safety. +1 here to the defense.
Yeah, give an assist to Calculator on that for having that health pack hacked. That's the main reason that kill comes through. Sea Breezy just steadily getting these picks here. Ugh. 70% on the Bob already is kind of huge.
It was a cool play there. It was a little damage boosted wild card, kind of forced him back, and then just right into Sea Breezy's sights. And yeah, leading the server right now in that ult charge.
Yeah, you really want to see if Frank or E3. It's really got to be. Oh, that's backbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, Cat Commanders are just struggling to get across that gap to set up at all. And now they've got to wait again, and still Sling Beast is going to be in a vulnerable position. Calculator did, bit off a little bit more than they could chew down low. Atomic Man and Shuchi combined for that kill. Once Sling Beast gets back, it's going to be Cat Commander's go time.
Yeah, that 50 damage on that shield bash always catches you a little off guard. You're like, I can get a little bit more damage, boom.
Frank alongside Atomic Man working with the outside. Suchi down low, trying to protect Sling Base's entry. Up top, E3 is going to harass Sea Breezy, take some eyes off of that support, but it's Wildcard who moves in and gets that kill instead. Once again, the tank of Shadow Monarch coming through in a big way, but Frank with the focusing beam knocks them out of mech, and that's going to force a reset here because, yeah, it's only 92% towards that self-destruct.
Yeah, Sea Breezy has another player available, though, if they really need another player, who needs Devo when you have Bob, right?
Yeah, I agree. I love the new voice line interaction. Oh, beautiful on a pick. Slang Beast once again struggling to make their way onto this point. Beautiful shot. See, Rizzi did throw out the big Omnic Butler. Without the Yana, still Cat Commanders are able to fight too. Do they have the staying power? It doesn't look like it. Just missing way too much sustain to finish out a prolonged fight.
Yeah. When all you have left is that Brigida healing, it's really tough because after the packs, that's really all you've got. And Winston kind of needs a lot to be kept up. E3 does have EMP available, as does Calculator. I really think this is all going to hinge on Vex's Kitsune Rush, which way this is going to go. That was a nice hit by the Kiriko, by the way.
Lots of ults online, ready to go. It's up to Cat Commanders trying to find the pace here, but see, Breezy just won't let him get in position. This time it's Frank who gets muscled down with the dynamite and the headshot. Calculator's waiting by the translocator for E3 to appear in front of them. Don't know if they've been spotted yet. Calculator's going to give up on this ambush and maybe go look for somebody else. Frank has returned to the fight. Means Cat Commanders may have an opportunity to move in. Manual hack, but no pursuit. Cat Commanders have some ults to work with. Let's see which ones they choose to use to get into this thing.
Looks like going to be an EMP.
Ooh, alongside a big bionated. Don't need the translocator if you're killing everyone. Beautiful combo there from Cat Commanders. That'll get the job done. Shadow Monarchs gave them the room to work that time, and Cat Commanders took full advantage.
Yeah, that was 4 ults from the side of Cat Commanders and 3 ults from the side of Shadow Monarchs. Kind of wild, actually, how many ults just went off there.
In the end, the expenditure from Cat Commanders, the investment proving valuable. So losing Frank this early, not ideal. Use the coach gun to get the top man back onto the low ground. See Breezy trying to hold this balcony for as long as they can, trying to hold as much space as possible. Gonna go ahead and push Atomic Man back. Give some time for Shadow Monarch's defense to get set up, and Wildcard has returned. Ooh, good kill on Atomic Man. Start things off. Oh, look at that. Wildcard's gonna go chasing down more.
Yeah, I mean, really great shots from C Breezy, too. Just really sitting up here, getting these random picks. Calculator taking out Suchi there. Just great team effort so far.
Well, and it turns into
Calculator has EMP.
It turns into a similar problem from point A. How do you get in position with C Breezy hot like this, hitting all those shots, and then it's given time for Shadow Monarchs to rotate their ultimates and build up the EMP. We're gonna have a bit of a somber duel there. Nope, E3 backed right on out of that one. There's the EMP out. May have gotten Suchi. That's enough. Take one down, then the follow-up on the Frank. This should be able to snowball to another good hold here. 75 seconds on the clock from Cat Commanders. Atomic trying to stick around, but doesn't want to use that Primal Rage. At least got it online, ready to go for the next one.
Yeah, and with that being said, Shadow Monarchs have built up every other ultimate now as a result of that EMP going off like that. Cat Commanders are getting pretty close to an EMP of their own, but I don't know if they'll be able to get it before the Shadow Monarchs blast their ults at them here.
Atomic Man trying to force Walker's got him caught inside. It's a good quarter. See, Breezy not able to keep them in bay. Just was shooting at the back of Atomic Man's mech, and it's enough for Cat Commanders to at least get the crowbar into the door. Let's see if they can pry it open. Atomic Man trying to brute force it up into the high ground. Here comes Frank around back with the pulse bomb ready to go, but see, Breezy sends him packing with a nice dynamite. He's able to drive off E3 as well. Finally, that pulse bomb is thrown out, and it's good. That takes Wildcard out of mech and finally ends the reign of terror that is C Breezy. Bring him up to the high ground. Vex is able to take him down. Nice headshot punch combo. Follows up with this Kitsune Rush to try to drive away Atomic Man, who's nano boosted up top. Rally down low. It's bow support ults invested here from the Cat Commanders. Try to finish off point B with 5 seconds. Now just nothing. It's going to be an overtime push here. Kill from Suchi, though, starting off overtime well. Still more to do here for Cat Commanders to finish off this point.
Yeah, and you're still seeing the picks and the damage come out. E3 has EMP available, but it looks like they won't even have to use it for second point to get kept.
Yeah, Cat Commanders had done enough. Then they get these follow-up kills quickly enough. If they weren't clean about this follow-up, Shadow Monarchs might have had a chance to regroup, but the early efforts from Cat Commanders do pay off. Though they do have significantly less time than the Shadow Monarchs did approaching point C.
Yeah, but they also have EMP before Calculator does. That's the key here. Calculator is going to get at this fight, but if E3 can go early enough and grab a support or something, some sort of kill, it can be big enough to really snowball this into the last corner.
Yeah, Frank is set up on the left. Top man coming on in. EMP is out, looking for C Breezy in the back. The hack is going to fade. Coach got up into the air, and E3 has nothing but a giant mech to shoot at now. Calculator runs off, grabs a health pack, has an EMP of their own. Those teammates in the back line. Cat Commanders have managed to work all the way in, but it's the self-destruct combined with EMP that might have just...
Yeah, that was a really, really great play from the side of the Shadow Monarchs. Self-destruct EMP, like you said, big time. And C Breezy, look at this stagger onto Atomic, man. Oh, that's always evil. But you let the Mercy get the kill, which is nice. I do want to point out as well, I think it was Wildcard got a remake kill onto the Sombra there, which I don't think I've ever seen. That was pretty crazy. There is going to be one more fight available. The Cat Commanders are going to need to be really big with their EMP here from Slaying Beast. Their Nano Boost here from Slaying Beast. Nanoing on the Brig. Okay. Okay, C Breezy though getting Frank.
I mean, it's going to give
might
Suchi
be good enough. Oh,
Suchi will get the rally online. It could be just exactly what Cat Commanders need here to finish us off. If they have the reinforcements, Atomic Man is just getting absolutely swarmed. Manual hack everybody down. Kitsune rush on the point here from the defense. Self-destruct up. C Breezy's Coach Gun doesn't get him out of the way. Vex gets killed by the remake as well, but supports are falling on both sides. Slaying Beast going down. Suchi also. Cat Commanders are going to have to do this and supports entirely. Frank does have a pulse bomb in the pocket, and the reinforcements dwindling here for the Shadow Monarchs. Cat Commanders able to complete, and we are back. Even Stevens here as we head into extra innings.
Oh, man, that was a crazy little quick finish there to go into the overtime rounds. Am I seeing a draw in our future here?
Don't even start with me, Shadowfang. Don't you even think it. Don't you even think it, sir. What did you do, Ray? What did you do? I mean, I'm expecting to see
for sure.
I'm expecting to see the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man come walking through Numbani now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he definitely could do that any moment now.
Here to create a draw, manifestations of your mind, haunting the streets of Numbani. You didn't know you had so much power, Shadowfang.
I had no idea, but I'm glad to know that I do. Oh, it looks like we have a pause.
Yeah, called here from the Shadow Monarchs. Who attacked first? So they will be attacking first in extra innings since both teams have equal time. First team to attack the initial rounds attacks first in the extra rounds.
Yeah, it looked like we were going to be seeing straight up mirror comps with a Sombra, Ashe, Diva, Ana, Brigida. That's what it looked like to me, at least. Attacking teams could still swap around what they're doing, but that's just what it initially looked like was about to happen.
Right. Yeah, and well, we do know that it took the Shadow Monarchs quite a bit of time to cap in their first go. In fact, it took both of our teams quite a bit of time to cap on their first go. But Shadow Monarchs really taking it down to the wire, as the Cat Commanders seem to have a real firm grasp with keeping their Ashe up on that high ground. Did a really good job of protecting that high ground and not letting anybody even close. So it took some real heroic efforts from C-Blizz on the Ashe, or excuse me, on the Echo, duplicating the Ashe to get the job done. But outside of that, like it was looking pretty dire. So we'll see if Cat Commanders can repeat that performance on the defense. I mean, if that first point A is anything to go by, I think Cat Commanders have the edge here, Shadowfang.
Yeah, you could definitely say Cat Commanders would have the edge going into this initial overtime round here. They seem to be the best at points 1 and 3. They just struggled the most on 2, if I'm remembering correctly.
Indeed. And once again, Sea Breezy. It was Sea Breezy that opened up point B for Shadow Monarchs as well. So that's definitely where our attention has been. I mean, been lighting it up. I've been seeing them a lot because they've been on absolute fire. They've been cooking here in Numbani, and we'll see. It could be enough to give Shadow Monarchs a match point once we get through our little pause. This one's not my fault. I swear, y'all. This one's not my fault. I didn't do it.
Not this time. Not
Hey,
this time.
you hush, Headrammer. We got producer. Yeah. Try to backseat cast. I don't know. Chirp in my ear a bit. He's not really backseat casting. I'm just teasing. All right, 60 seconds, both sides.
Yeah, kind of underrated play though to nano boost the Brigida there on the Cat Commanders in that last particular fight because it helped Suchi build up to that rally, which then helped them sustain even further.
Oh, particularly
Push on the
with being
point.
at like 85% to rally, that was a really good call. And we've seen particularly when the Sombra was particularly hot, was everybody was playing Sombra. The Nano it looked to be used more defensively from what I was seeing, just kind of across the board, general across the scene of Overwatch. And so nanoing your Brig became fairly popular in that regard. But so there's definitely a good time to use it. That was ideal. That was the perfect time to nano the Brig, not the tank, not one of the DPS. Get that rally up and keep Suchi alive. Clutch move there from the Cat Commanders.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's Slaying Beast in particular. Slaying Beast has been a beast on the Ana. Hard to deny. And we've been hyping up Sea Breezy a lot. Slaying Beast on that Ana has been spectacular. And it was one of the reasons that great hold on point A I was bragging about earlier. Slaying Beast was a big part of that.
Yeah, a lot of antis coming through that were really strong, really great.
I mean, and just good awareness, good prioritizing. I mean, good keeping the tank alive, and keeping good positioning. Ana is such a delicate balance, one of the most rewarding heroes to play in all Overwatch, in my personal opinion. And I think one of the highest skill ceiling. And it's not just the raw aim, like it's the pace of her and all of the little mechanics that go into Overwatch. They seem to all apply to Ana. You have to, if you're lacking in any one of those, it will show in a GM tier competition like this. Slaying Beast seems to have it all in lock.
Yeah, she doesn't have any of those what I call get out of free cards that other heroes like Baptiste or Kiriko have, but it looks like we're going back in now.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't call Sleep a get out of jail free card, but it could definitely, like, again, it's one of those where, like, if you run into an Ana who's nasty with their sleeps, you know it. You immediately, like, you play differently around it.
Yep. Definitely. It's not like a Kiriko Suzu where it's just like, all right, we threw it at the ground. Now we're immortal for a moment.
Right.
Oh, we're seeing some Brig Lucio out here. Okay.
They're actually okay, I was gonna say, are we actually gonna roll out the gates with this, or are they just trying to bait us? They are sticking with the Sombra Ash. We're gonna get. I mean, just pouring resources into Sea Breezy. Sea Breezy's been doing work. Let's just pour all the resources into Sea Breezy.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you may as well. Why not? E3 already built up a good little chunk of nano boost just off of that nano boost, and a good little chunk of EMP just off of that first encounter.
Dangerous move. But E3 not punished for it, still alive in this fight. 5v5 as Shadow Monarchs make their way up to the high ground. E3 working their way down into the back. Took a hip fire to the head and some body shots as well. Has to translocate out. Sea Breezy turns their attention to the 3 up high. Gets a dynamite, and Atomic Man down very low. Will get chased down, will not make it back up to the high ground. And this is just the opening the Shadow Monarchs were looking for. A little bit of a duel here. Lands the headshot, the dynamite. I think that just hit Shuchiko. Oh, either way, down low. Vex is able to put a kunai and finish off the pilot of Atomic Man. And a big advantage here in overtime for Shadow Monarchs as they're approaching their second tick.
Yeah, honestly, big dynamite from Sea Breezy. It forced the whole backline back, and then another, just a nice stagger kills here. They could steamroll this into a really nice point 2 push.
I like that you brought up those dynamites because it was just putting so much pressure on all three. Frank, Slaying Beast, and Shuchinko were just getting absolutely demolished. I mean, no eyebrows left on any of those 3 players right now from all the dynamites. And there's a Bob now online and ready to go. Once again, Sea Breezy leading the server.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to easily get up to the bus, and then they're going to have ults to blast. I think that Shadow Monarch should be able to make it through point 2 of Numbani at least here.
Going to take a pretty heroic effort from Cat Commanders, and most likely having to do it in the neutral. See Breezy putting a couple shots down low. Atomic Man's going to move in. It's a Roach trying to pressure on the supports. Mommy Raven and Calculator both looking very low, but Cat Commander's not able to finish off what they started, and now just kind of stuck in an awkward spot with a Katsune rush out. That was almost a Charlie Niner there from Shadow Monarchs. They got back on the point just in time. Now, as the rush fades, it's going to be a battle over this corner. EMP now online, ready to go here from E3. Nano boost out onto Atomic Man. EMP into the back's going to find 4. Mommy Raven and C Breezy immediately cut down. Shuchi very low, but stays alive through it. It's the bomb invested from C Breezy. Coming in late in that fight despite being built up so very early. Cat Commanders seem to be able to go tit for tat. Cat Commanders still... It's a 2v2 on this point. Frank takes Calculator down. It's a team back onto Atomic Man, but Frank finishes off Vex, and the overtime is gone. Frank winning out in the 2v2, able to finish off both the remaining members of Shadow Monarchs and put a stop to this push, but not before 4 points on the board and a decent amount of progress picked up there through the streets phase.
Honestly, shout out to Suchi there on the Brigida. The shield bash and just general damage coming out really helped take out the Mercy and the Ash off of the EMP. You don't typically expect the Brig to be the one to follow up on the damage from an EMP, but in that case, Suchi did a really good job of doing that.
Cat Commanders did a really good job. I mean, the entire team seemed to just collapse on that EMP. It's exactly what they needed. Yeah, great highlight on Suchi. Couldn't agree more. Just getting max value both offensively and defensively from that Brig.
Yep. That being said, still a really solid push from the Shadow Monarchs. This first point is no easy thing to push if you're the Cat Commanders, so you can't rest easy just yet.
And no draw. That's not on the table. We have officially gotten rid of that. Just get that on out of here. Somebody will win Numbani. No, it's impossible to draw at this point. Somebody will win.
Exactly 81.56 and 6.
It's that Overwatch counts down past that. Overwatch keeps track past the 100th mark. It just doesn't show on screen. So, no, there is no draw here. Overwatch keeps track far more specific numbers than just what we see on screen. Yeah, I've seen it happen, my friend. I've seen it happen. I've seen a team win where both teams had the same amount of meterage.
All right.
That was on Kings Row, coincidentally enough.
The best map.
All right, Cat Commanders going on the attack. Half of their time already is trying to get set up on this high ground, but they have managed to get everybody here safely, something they struggled to do a bit on their initial run here in Point A. Up into the top goes Wildcard, puts pressure onto Atomic Man, but gets booped back down or drops down. Either way, gives up on that after a little bit of push. Dynamite in. Man, see Breezy have such good luck with his own attack. Landing one in, and it's kind of put Atomic Man in a difficult spot. They choose to go, but Sushi falls as Cat Commanders make their move. The supports kind of get left out. And unfortunately, there's only 2 of them left as the seconds dwindle. Shadow Monarchs, they're able to put a stop to this here. Cat Commanders fall, and Monarchs will move up to match point.
Maybe here in a moment, you know. Do they get the somber touch again?
Yeah, I mean, they're delaying the inevitable. I mean, yeah, you give everything you got. You don't give up. I mean, I wouldn't forgive my Lucio if they just stopped in the middle of the street and didn't run to point. No. You go until the game will not let you go anymore. I mean, and you got to respect it. But fortunately, it was just too tall a mountain to overcome there, particularly by those final seconds. Good performance here from Shadow Monarchs on Numbani, and man, this was not how I thought this map was going to go when we were, 3 minutes and 50 seconds into the start of this map? It was not looking this way.
Yeah, no, that was a complete turnaround by the Shadow Monarchs. It really was just C Breezy swapping onto that Ash and just allowing that hit scan and dynamite damage to kind of take over the lobby.
It was funny because it was the duplicate that kind of seemed to initiate all of it. Like the duplicate, you almost set the light bulb off over their head, right? Like it was like, yeah. Wait a minute, I just had mass value in the 8. I was Ash. Maybe we should be Ash for the rest of the map.
It's like, what if I just continuously played this hero?
Maybe the rest of the series. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, friends. I'm just speculating. I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, they could. Map 3 is a pretty decent Ash map, if I do remember.
Oh, what a beautiful segue. Well, where are we going from map number 3, Mr. Shadowfang?
Well, we're gonna be heading off to the Shambali Monastery, which, maybe not a direct Ash map, but I think most anything can work pretty well on that map.
And I beat Headroomer to it. I was so hoping he had the map like queued up. Like it was just too good a segue. I had to take it. Like I could you can't hand me a segue like that, like on a platter and expect me not to bite. So, but there it is. Shambali Monastery. That's what we were talking about. Yeah, no, Ash could definitely work her.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few teams like to opt for like a Sigma Poke comp on this map. I've seen teams opt for the Ramatra comp on this map, which we've seen both teams are very comfortable playing that Ram comp. Both teams are very comfortable playing that Dive comp.
I feel like more lately.
Ram comp.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say I feel like lately the rush has become more and more prominent on Shambali, where it started off very much poke based, like we see on Circuit Royale. It didn't take long for teams to realize, like, hey, we can get a lot more fights in. And play around some of these tighter corners. These corners aren't as punishable as we see in Circuit Royale. You know, you're not dealing with the high ground vantage points nearly as much like we see on Point B and C of Circuit. So with that, the brawl definitely has come up. Like on defense, we're starting to see close holds evolve. You know, that has something that's been steadily evolving over the past several months. Teams figured out you can get 3 fights in on as the defense on Point A. And so now they're trying to see if they can get all 3 of those fights in and eat up a minute on each one. Even if you lose each fight, but you eat a minute off the clock, like that's doing your job as the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. So it wouldn't surprise me to see maybe like a Ram Brawl style comp, but still running something akin to that Ash anyways. Because we've seen Sea Breezy, even when they were running the Ramatra comps, opt for that Junkrat on the tower.
This is true. I think going into Shambali, I don't see any reason to change off the Sombra Ash for Shadow Monarchs. Like it worked really well. They seem very comfortable in this comp, and there has been no problems for Calculator to build up EMP, like none whatsoever. Like that 15% nerf, like just apparently nobody told Calculator. So it's been working well. I don't think you need to change it for this map, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. I could even still see like I could see an Ana Mercy. They could opt for that Mercy Kiriko that we keep seeing come out of them as well.
It's a weird one. But obviously the Mercy and the Ash pair well together. The Kiriko and the Ramatra pair really well together, and even with the Diva, it was working nicely. So, but I think the Kiri would work even better in the Ramatra comp.
Yeah. Have you ever been in the Kiri Ultimate with Ramatra punches? It's like ridiculous.
Oh, it's great.
So
it's great.
Extra fast.
I mean, I will say it's nice with the Diva as well. I mean, you're getting your micro missiles back really fast. You also get your flight, you get your dash back super fast, which has already been buffed. Like they already reduced her cooldown on her dash. So one of the reasons we're seeing a little bit more Diva. I don't expect that to change once Ilyari comes into the mix, as it's one of the best ways to stop that big wombo combo.
An underrated one I would say is the Kiri Rush with the Ash reload. Not even the damage,
true.
just reloading the gun.
Just the fact that you can reload so fast. Yeah, it's true, man.
Yeah. It looks like Monarchs are going to opt for the Sigma comp, but they are going to stay on that Ash Sombra that we mentioned previously. Cat Commander's opting for a Pharah.
Yeah, don't let the swaps fool you. Almost all... I guarantee you I'm going to call the team the wrong name at some point with color swap. Shadow Monarchs starting off on defense here. And yeah, just kind of shoehorning their previous composition into different tanks. Honestly, it works. Like I didn't mean that sounded a little bit more negative than I intended. I don't mean that to say that it couldn't work. You're just leaning more into the poke aspect of this composition, using it to hold this top high ground at the moment, where Sea Breezy can just rain shots over the objective. Has got Frank in the back, but is keeping those supports covered. Dynamite in. Captain Players have claimed a little bit of space. Shadow Monarchs are going to go ahead and backpedal up to this next corner. Good shot. Right in the dome. Can they deny res? They're going to use the coach gun. Oh, and Espresso's going to bail on it. They're not even going to try to res E3. It still gets taken down.
Yeah, Calculator, the Sombra, going to be the arch enemy of a Mercy. That is such a rough hack to have happen to you when you're playing the Mercy.
Oh, mid-res especially.
Yeah, absolutely. Neither team very close to ultimates here, so I think it's just going to be another neutral fight.
So it's going to be a matter of can they get to Sea Breezy? Otherwise, how do they avoid all the damage? They don't. Slaying Beast is the target. Gets focused down immediately. We saw that a lot on Noom Bonnie. Executed well here. Calculator's going to win their duel out over Frank. And Shadow Monarchs here with another great start to this fight. Crisp, clean defense so far here from the Shadow Monarchs.
Yeah, Calculator just getting a quick 3 there without even sending a hack off at any moment. That was
Barely
kind
broke a
of
sweat.
crazy. Right? They're the closest to their ultimate, followed by... Oh, well, no. I suppose Vex is going to be the closest to their ultimate with the Baptiste window. But this EMP is going to be coming in very, very soon for the side of Shadow Monarchs.
Yeah, Cat Commanders have been avoiding Sea Breezy. Sea Breezy's been the fastest ult built up in the server for a couple of different rounds now. And Cat Commanders kind of learned their lesson. Going to use that bubble, try to put their attention onto the back line, see if they can cut Shadow Monarch's defense in half. Able to find Mommy Raven with it. Taking the Mercy down. Still have Vex and Sea Breezy here in the back, so a good start. More to do. Cat Commanders find the other support. And now dive bombing in. E3 is just going to collapse onto Sea Breezy, and this defense broken up. I talked about the defense can get 3 fights if they play the brawl, but on this poke, ooh, they'll be lucky to get a second one.
Underrated thing that happened right there was Calculator getting forced out of that fight early by Atomic Man. Just not being able to use that EMP before the fight really gets started up and going. Now you're looking at both teams with full ultimates on the board, and E3 probably going to be the first one coming out with this barrage.
Cat Commander going right over the top. Sea Breezy dies before they hit the ground. But look at all the kills that go down around it. Cal coming up with another pair. Sea Breezy is right back on their feet, looking no worse for wear.
And more ults were actually burned by the Cat Commanders than the Shadow Monarchs there. That is not
Oh,
the
you're
race
right.
you want to see if you're the Cat Commander.
Oh. Yeah, all the Shadow Monarchs used was EMP. Not only did Cat Commanders use more, they used 3-to-1 ratio and lost that fight. Oh, that hurts. That hurts bad. How do you recover from that, Cat Commanders? You got to do something. You got to pull something special out of your hat. I see a Nano Boost. I see a Primal Rage. You can get a little reckless in here. You can get a... Move up top. See what you do against Sea Breezy. Sea Breezy trying to hold off E3. E3's going to land that one. Sea Breezy goes down. Calculator falls as well. It's E3 who gets to the Nano and pulls something special out of their hat. It's a couple of great directs here, giving the 5-3 over to Cat Commanders as they're going to finish off wild card. What remains here of this defense?
Yeah, really, really nice kill onto Sea Breezy, just kind of denying that bob really early on. Because as we can see, Sea Breezy just continues to hit shots, even coming back when they shouldn't be getting the kills.
And it was good patience. We saw E3 kind of dance around in front of the shots, knowing Sea Breezy's aim's got to be respected. So it requires some clever movement out of E3 before they finally made the move with the Conch Blast to get up there and find that kill. Beautifully done. E3 tried to put some pressure down here on the back of point B, but reinforcements starting to show up. Shadow Monarchs are going to solidify here in this top section.
Yeah, you're going to want to watch out for E3's barrage here again. Bob coming into the backline, stalling point. Really smart use of Bob.
Yeah, it could force the Cat Commanders up forward. That barrage right in the window. I did not expect that. Vex certainly didn't see that coming. Unfortunately, the Concussion Blast will not deny the Resurrect, and Vex is right back into this fight. Way up front, Atomic Man's going to pop that Primal Rage in quite deep and facing down the barrel of an Amplification Matrix. E3 caught the business end of that ultimate. Let's see, Breezy. That was a dynamite through the Amp Matrix. Just roasted the Cat Commanders. They're hairless cats now.
Ooh, was that damage boosted too? Because that is...
That is damage boost Amp Matrix Dynamite? Oh, that is nightmare fuel.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my goodness. Frank needs to make a really nice play with this Pulse Bomb before Calculator gets that EMP off. Calculator has been basically solo winning fights with EMP so far, so, you know, that could very well happen again here.
A little bit of a somber duel going on. E3's already been forced out. Calculator is looking to hunt him down. Shadow Monarchs know where the Cat Commanders are setting up here, working their way around to this back side. Looks like Calculator backed out, gets the manual hack onto Frank, makes themselves known there. Frank's going to back down. Meanwhile, Cat Commanders looking to push up their stairwell. See if they can go head on. Calculator's going to get aggressive of their own. That's all the 5 players down. Slang Beast goes down immediately. No nano on the board here for the Cat Commanders. Somehow Espresso survives. Atomic Man not so lucky, and eventually the fate is sealed as Calculator just absolutely demolished the Cat Commanders here. 20 seconds to go.
It's just like that little extra bit of patience with the EMP is what's making it so crazy. Like, this EMP is coming out after a bunch of resources have already been burned, which is what's making it so difficult to deal with.
Well, and you're like, okay, they're not going to get aggressive. They're not going to get aggressive. And then, boom, they get aggressive. Atomic Man has got to move it in the last second here to make sure and that they can get an overtime, at least get an opportunity. But they're going to have to do it without that nano once again. Frank is able to land a pulse, but it takes themselves to do it. And the res is up, and it's a 5v3 here for the Shadow Monarchs. Atomic Man on the point here, trying to hold this down, praying that their support's gonna make it back to this fight, but it's not gonna happen before they get D-Max. Of course, it's Breezy coming up with that one. E3 now the last standing hope here for the Cat Commanders, but it is all 5 players of the Shadow Monarchs who are sending them away. And the Cat Commanders will have to settle for a mere 77 meters here on point B.
Yeah, they said, well, the Shadow Monarchs basically said, oh, so you're gonna focus on Breezy all the time now, so we're just gonna swap over to Calculator. That's who's going to do everything for us now, you know?
Right?
Oh my god.
I mean, and even
EMPs have been crazy.
And I'm gonna say, it even looks like Calculator is kind of getting more of the resources with that as well. Even if it's just not necessarily like sustaining resources, but as far as the positioning, we saw a lot of the Shadow Monarchs kind of following where Calculator was setting up, but the approach Calculator was setting, and the tempo Calculator was setting. That EMP, that 5-player EMP in the back, that was spectacular.
I noticed the occasional damage boost coming in onto Calculator as well, helping them build up when they were
There
just
you go.
poking in the neutral.
That just reinforces what I was thinking. They're just pouring those resources into Calculator now. So true. You're right. You're absolutely right, sir.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have... Oh, okay. Interesting. The Sombra Soldier with a Wrecking Ball Mercy Zen.
The Mercy Zen is I don't know why that, but that seems to be the most intriguing part of this whole strange conglomerate, this Frankenstein composition that we're seeing right now.
I just want to see the Zen snipe the Pharah out of the air. That's all I want.
Oh, we are getting a call for a pause here from the defending Cat Commanders. Obviously, we're not privy as to the reason or why, but you know, it'll just give us some time to talk about this strange comp. And we've seen the Wrecking Ball work for the Shadow Monarchs here, but this is the first time we'll see the Zen. The Zen seems a particular vulnerable part of this monstrosity that they're showing us at the moment.
Yeah, and if what we're seeing is legitimate right now, I think I was seeing a soldier and a Pharah. Is that accurate?
I think it was Soldier Tracer, if memory is serving
I
correctly.
thought it was Pharah.
Was it? Okay. I mean, hey, if it could have swapped since I had looked.
Yeah, because I think E3 was playing that Pharah, which is why I wanted to see the Zen shoot the Pharah out of the air.
Oh, yeah, on the other side was the Pharah. Yes. Cat
Yes.
Commanders were running the Pharah. Yes. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Breezy and Cal.
I'm more thinking about the matchup for the Zen.
Right.
And how they'll be.
I'm following you now. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. They're running into some voice chat bugs in the game right now, which can definitely be difficult, especially at any competitive tier of play. You really want to be able to speak to your team. It's why most of us get onto teams in the first place, because people don't hop into voice chat in regular ranked.
Well, and be confident that everything you're saying is coming through and that all comms are clean and clear. Yeah, you definitely want to be confident in that. No doubt. It can make a huge difference. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it already with the focus from Shadow Monarchs has been one of their shining points of this team.
Yep.
They seem to know exactly the target who is the win con for that particular fight, being an ultimate that's coming online, or her needs, if just focusing down Slaying Beast time and time again. But Shadow Monarchs, we've seen how good their communication has been. It's been very apparent here in today's matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like the Mercy Zen is going to be the swap. Oh, this is old-fashioned dive right here. Season 1 dive. Season 1 of Overwatch League, I should say. Dive.
And it was Capcom the Somber, not the Tracer. So my mistake on the comp coming out from the attacking Shadow Monarchs. Up to the high ground they go with said Sombra. And Vex, the vulnerable part, the Achilles heel of this strange composition does indeed fall. Now, the rest of the team can continue to poke and kind of build up ult and cause pressure. The Shadow Monarchs comp it feels like if you chop a limb off, that limb can still behave and act on its own accord. Big pile drive up top. Rockets to accompany it slaying. Beast is going to fall. And Cat Commander's defense might have just got chopped up at the knees.
And it's just like that. That pile driver damage on top of a Sombra diving in, that'll do it. Put this far staying alive.
Yeah, has managed to strike back in a significant way. That was a direct onto the Mercy. Mommy Raven take it to the skies and see Breezy finally lands the Helix rockets. So Shadow Monarchs make their way here to the back of point A. Still a long way to go, though.
Yeah, long way to go. E3 going to be coming back with this barrage, and I imagine they're going to try and get on top of E-Breezy with it, or C-Breezy with it, as they have tended to do so far.
I mean, otherwise, C-Breezy's just going to take him out of the air immediately. So, I mean, it's a wise move. Frank taking some early damage on the approach as Cat Commanders make their way back in to fight here down this hill. An optimal place for this fight for this defense. But suboptimal, I've calculated in her back. Here comes that barrage. Was looking for C-Breezy, who now pops the tag visor. Drives through it, turns the corner with the auto aim. One of those players down low, but the healing so good from Slave Beast. Eventually, Vex is able to pick them off. E3 looking to return the favor. Goes to the back low for Mommy Raven. It's the Valkyrie pop trying to fly away. E3 is going to continue to try to commit to this. Lands one direct, but you need two back-to-back, really, if you're going to take that Moth out of the sky. It's not going to be enough. Shadow Monarchs are able to work through the chaos, utilize it, born in the chaos, and they will use it to pick up point A.
Yep. And while C-Breezy did eventually die to E3, it took so much of E3's attention, and with them having the pocket, that's two players you're essentially taking out of the fight, just trying to kill C-Breezy while you have the Wrecking Ball and Sombra running through the rest of your team.
And C-Breezy was able to get enough damage done with that tack visor to get a lot of resources out, and kind of ended up playing a long game here for Shadow Monarchs. So it was a good job initially from those supports to stay alive, but once they had spent everything, Shadow Monarchs still a little bit left in the tank. Speaking of, a little drop down from Vex. There we go. That's a Transcendence, but it's not enough to save wild card. Good response here from Calculator. Can the Shadow Monarchs push through here without their tank? Oh, never mind. Tank's back up. Rez is there. Frank just gets flattened like a pancake. And Rez and Cat Commanders are going to nade it because it's the only DPS left standing. A wild card is here to just bowling ball through your ranks, followed by this EMP, and it pushes everybody from Cat Commanders away. The Shadow Monarchs will claim the Shambhala Monastery and our series. 3-0 here today. Move up to 1-1 here on the season.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, after taking that 3-2 loss, you know what I'm saying? It looks like they learned a little bit from it and were able to recover with a nice 3-0 victory over the Cat Commanders here. That'll give them a nice little boost into those mid-season rankings because, again, we only have 4 games.
Yeah, absolutely. The Cat Commanders, this new squad here in Season 12, fallen to 1-1. Not the showing they wanted here today. But you know what? Part of a new team. You know, it takes time to build some synergy. You know, we were talking to Suchi early before the series started. She was saying that this is the first time the team has actually all played together, even in their first week loss, that it was kind of a hodgepodge and had to have a support player playing tanks. So still time for this new squad here to find their footing. But props to Shadow Monarch, claps and applause all around with a clean victory here today.
Yeah, great performance all around from both sides. Special shout out to C-Breezy and Calculator, especially. Yeah.
It'd be hard to decide which one of those I would give an MVP to. I mean, it's almost like you'd have to break it down map by map, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. My goodness. Really strong play from both players on the DPS line. I would probably side towards C-Breezy just due to the Nambani performance in particular, with it being the closest map.
No, I'll take that. It also kind of felt like that particular play, that duplicate, that one infamous play, as the kind of that had to be the play of the match, right? Because you felt the tides turn after that duplicate. That Numbani was Cat Commanders had that wrapped up and in the bag, and C-Breezy stole it. 100% came in and just with sheer determination and will and some killer shots stole that victory away, and the Shadow Monarchs never looked back. It was an absolute turning point of the series.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, that's gonna do it for us here today, Shadow Thing. It's a quick 3-0. It's just as I was getting warmed up and I got was able to wrestle my internet into submission. We got to call it a night. Any thoughts? Any thoughts here before we shut her down?
I don't think Cat Commanders should feel too bad about this. Both maps 1 and 2 were really, really close and could have gone either way.
I agree wholeheartedly. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us tonight. Big shout out to Headraimer doing the prod in the background and just giving me a little bit of crap in my ear throughout the night. Awesome, appreciate it. Love y'all. Thank you. We'll see you soon. More CGL to come. Have a good night, y'all.
Name straight, new wave.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.